The new season of Sasol GTC got off to an incredible start, with new drivers on the grid, different race winners stepping up, and more mayhem and action than we've seen before. As we head from Johannesburg to the Western Cape, settle in for round 2 at Killarney International Raceway as we continue the Sasol GTC Championship. Welcome to the Western Cape and Killarney International Raceway in Cape Town. And it's true, right now, the only thing in higher demand than water here is some more great Sasol GTC Championship action. Round 1 was at Killarney and it was a massive weekend. That monumental crash between reigning champion Michael Stephen and Cape Town's own Johan Faree was taking all of the headlines. So let's go back, have a look at that opening round and the drama that occurred at that famous circuit in the place of gold.
As the Sasol GTC Championship kicked off its 3rd season at Killarney in March, with new drivers, liveries and a new excitement for 2018, few could imagine that the opening round would test both sportsmanship and the strength of the GTC race cars in one of the biggest crashes in the category's history.
It started way before, before the first red flag. I knew that the car was badly damaged after Daniel T-burned me when he went off the track in like 90 degree, hit me. So I think the left front took a lot of impact, and I tried to look at the car on the red flag to see if anything was obviously bent or something leaking or anything.
Got to second and managed to get past Johan and Michael, and came down the straight, looked in my right mirror, saw Van Rooyen behind me, and Johan wasn't anywhere to be seen.
I hit the pedal, and that's the moment everything just slowed down a lot, because they left foot brake, so my left foot just went down, and that just went all the way down to the floor. I'm like, am I hitting the clutch or am I hitting the brake pedal? So I actually looked down and I saw, no, I'm on the brake pedals, and looked up again, I'm like, ooh.
He barrels in too hot, enormous impact, that's huge, into the tyre fence via Michael Stephen.
I think, for about 2 or 3 seconds, I didn't quite know what actually had happened. It really took me by surprise. I had absolutely no idea. Sometimes you've got that sixth sense and you see a shadow in the corner of your eye or something like that, but there was none of that. It was just a solid impact.
When I hit the wall, I was just shocked. The last thing I remember hitting the wall, the glass just shattered through my face, and then everything got stopped. So I just unloosened my belts and I tried to get out the car, but I couldn't get out because the car was against the tyre walls on the right-hand side. I had to get out the left, and I just wanted to get out the car because it felt like a 10-ton truck was parked on my chest. I don't know if it was the belts pulling me or something, but I just couldn't breathe.
I registered that his car was buried in the tyre wall, and my instinct was jump out the car and go give the guy a hand and see if he's okay.
Yeah, no, Michael's intention was straight away there, am I right, am I fine, am I not? But yeah, luckily I was fine, and just shows you the good sportsmanship between the drivers and GTC. So yeah, I'm lucky to walk away, and definitely got a guardian angel over my shoulder that looked after me, and I think it's running thin because I used them a lot, so yeah.
I think it just shows the safety of the cars, of the circuits, that you can have a crash at over 200 k's an hour and walk away unscathed. So a big credit to those safety factors that have been put in.
With just weeks between rounds, both the Engen Audi crew and VM Innovations, which runs the EPS Couriers BMW, had a mammoth repair schedule and tight turnaround to make first practice at round 2 in Cape Town.
Then realised it wasn't as small as we thought it was going to be. The entire front end was bent. We had to essentially get that front end cut off, rejigged, re-welded. We essentially had 4 days to put the car together.
For about a week and a half, they've been working late nights, worked Saturday, Sunday. Wednesday night, we got to work at just after 7 in the morning. We worked through the night, we loaded the car the following morning, 7 o'clock. The guys didn't go home to their families, not a word of complaint or anything like that. And, they deserve all the credit they can get. And now we're just looking forward to going racing again.
Huge efforts from all the teams involved to get every car back on the grid this weekend in Cape Town. Certainly great to see. The next question is, how did that weekend shape the early championship standings? Well, wins from Bonafide and Moss gave them the top billing in Sasol GTC, while mini ace Brad Liebenberg leads GTC 2. Now, remarkably, it's the first time someone other than Keegan Masters has led the class since it joined the championship at the start of last season. So here to Killarney, here in stunning Cape Town. High corner loads on the cars and bigger bumps than ever before ensured that a number of teams struggled with broken tie rods in practice. Johan Faree and Gennaro Bonafide especially having big moments off the track, but they've all been fixed up and are good to go for race day. In qualifying, Dane Angel impressed in the Honda to get the second fastest time in GTC 2, but he was later penalised for a technical infringement, and that gave Devon Robertson a front row start in just his second ever round. He qualified alongside Keegan Masters who claimed his second pole position in a row. In Sasol GTC, it was a remarkable result given the trials of their last 2 weeks or so. An N-Gen Audi 1-2 result, with Simon Moss getting his second career Dunlop pole position ahead of teammate Michael Stephen. Simon celebrated his pole by chatting to our own Philippa.
Simon Moss, congratulations on your first pole position for 2018. A great strong start to the season, which is nice to see.
Yeah, well, we had a great start to this weekend in Killarney. Practice went smoothly, and coming here into qualifying, put up a great lap time. Felt like there was another 0.1, 0.2 in it maybe, but this one really goes out to the mechanics. They did a 24-hour stint just to get the cars here, and a phenomenal job. And we're right there, first and second. Take it into race 1, and hopefully that momentum can take us over the line and we can bring back a 1-2 in race 1.
Well, we wish you all the best for race 1, and congratulations on the 1,000 Rand, thanks to Dunlop as well.
Thank you very much, yes. If it wasn't for Dunlop, I wouldn't have had all the grip that I had out there to set up such a quick time. So thank you very much.
Keegan Masters, second pole position for 2018. Great comeback after the setbacks at Killarney.
I'm super chuffed. The team's also chuffed, I'm sure. We worked very hard. We worked extremely hard actually on the car from the last retirement at Killarney, and I'm happy that the car is perfect, hasn't had any faults throughout the whole weekend, so yeah.
Well, it's a brilliant crowd here at Killarney for what is now surely one of the most popular stops on the Sasol GTC schedule. The fans have flooded to the track to see the stars of the show, including that man, local hero Johan Ferré, who was a podium finisher at this place 12 months ago. One of the new stars is on the grid as well. His name is Devon Robertson. He drives for Mini. He's the reigning Polo Cup champion, and he's on the grid chatting to Philippa.
Devon Robertson, first time qualifying front row for GTC2. Killarney was a little bit of a mixed bag, but are you finally settling into the category now?
Yeah, like you say, Killarney was our first event. A bit of a tough one. The car wasn't performing as what we wanted it to do. We found the little niggly bits that were hampering us at Killarney. So second on the grid, happy so far. Just hopefully we finish second in the race.
You've got our GTC2 champion Keegan Masters right alongside you. He's not going to make the run to turn 1 easy on you.
Well, Keegan is the reigning champion at the moment, so being next to him obviously is an achievement on its own. We hope to always be ahead of him, but it's a tough one. We've learnt a lot from them already, just basically now to keep it on the black stuff.
All right, good luck for race 1.
Thank you very much, man.
And so to this great little venue north of Cape Town itself. 3.2 kilometres long, drivers are flat out for more than 60% of the lap, and there are several great passing points, including the famous Cape Town corner. To showcase just how fast this place is, we've enlisted the support of the Rustenburg Rocket to take you on a guided tour. Here's Michael Van Rooyen.
Welcome on board the Rustenburg Rocket for a 3.2 kilometre lap of Killarney. We're approaching the start-finish line, just about almost here. Boy, this is fast. Now we got to hit the 100 marker, hard on the brakes for turn 1. Try and keep it tight here in turn 1, a little bit wide. Exiting on the curve to get a little bit more extra speed. Now we get to turn 2, there's a big bump here where we hit the brakes. Try and keep it very tight here, and important to get a good exit out of turn 2. Now we're approaching a bit of a chicane where everyone's been braking tie rods in practice. We get to damps, hard on the brakes, keep it tight against the wall, good exit on the outside. Now we're approaching Malmesbury, the most important corner on the track. Slow in and very important to get a good exit. Hard on the accelerator. Now we've got a very long back straight where we're doing about 240 kilometers an hour. We can count the trees on the left. Now very important, after the bump, hit the brakes very hard, doing 240 kilometers an hour. Keep it tight in Cape Town corner, good exit. And now just flat on the accelerator till the start finish. Hug the wall a little bit on the outside to get that last tenth of a second. And that's a lap of Killarney.
He's in great form, Michael Van Rooyen, coming off the back of a podium finish last time out. So we'll look forward to the Rustenburg Rocket charging forward in this one. The Audis are 1 and 2, Moss in front of Stephen, Johan Ferré and Bonafide on the second row, Daniel Rowe and Van Rooyen on the third. Walt and Hodges make up row 4. GTC2 was all Keegan Masters in qualifying. Really good performance from Devon Robertson to line up alongside the champion Trevor Bland. Mr. Excitement goes from third alongside the rookie Adrian Wood. Liebenberg, Smallberger, Angel and Pretorius rounding out the GTC 2 field in front of a big crowd here at Killarney Raceway. It's a spectacular place to watch motor racing. It's a bumpy little racetrack. It's very fast as well. It's the home of the World Rallycross Championship now. And round 2 of Sasol GTC is underway. Rolling start, fast run, down towards turn 1. Very, very quick left-hand corner. Stephen on the outside in the rebuilt Audi. That's the GTC 2-pack, red v blue on the front. The Volkswagen getting in front of Devon Robertson's Mini. But it's Simon Moss on the back straight now into turn 2. Ferree on the outside trying to squabble for position with first Bonafide, then Van Rooyen, who gets the Rustenburg rocket up the inside. So a good start from 6th on the grid for Michael Van Rooyen. He's up to 4th. Johan Ferree's got a freight train behind him. Robbie Walk in the middle of the 2 Volkswagen Jettas. Frenetic start, but a very good start for Simon Moss as he goes into Malmesbury, which sets up that long run down to the back straight in Cape Town corner with that spectacular view in the background. So Audi's 1 and 2, what a terrific performance from that outfit, who have invested all of their considerable energies into rebuilding car number 1 after the monstrous crash at Kyalami just a couple of weeks ago. Brilliant start for both of them. Keegan Masters pulling away now from Robertson in the Mini. Angel in the Honda, who qualified well but was relegated down the grid with a penalty after qualifying. But that car's got some serious speed. We'll see if it can contend for a decent position in this race. Turn 1. Great start, Moss. His cold tyre pace especially has been very, very strong. We saw that at Kyalami last time out. This is Ferree. Crunch, big hit. That was Van Rooyen going down the inside. A lot of wheel work there from the Cape Town driver, trying to keep that car on the straight and narrow on the run into the right-hander. One of many at this racetrack. Lots of long, loaded right-hand corners that puts all the wear on the left-hand side of the car, so the Dunlop tyres cop a punishment. We saw in qualifying some broken suspension components as well. Shows the development race in this category and how quickly these cars are gaining speed each time they hit the racetrack. 2 seconds a lap faster this year than they were when they visited 2 years ago. Pole position time keeps tumbling as these teams come to grips with the cars. Development work gets underway, and of course more boost, more horsepower in Sasol GTC this year. And that means more straight line speed. You can see that from Gennaro Bonafide's viewpoint. We're looking over his left shoulder into Cape Town corner, banked turn. You can go around the outside there and set up a really good move down towards turn 1 as well. That's what the rush of air feels like as they rattle past pit wall on the run into turn 1. Big stop, big brake application, got to get the car turned. It is an overtaking opportunity. It's not quite as good as Cape Town corner, but it is an opportunity nonetheless. And the Audis remain 1 and 2. Volkswagen still in touch. There's Robbie Walk, number 41 Sasol BMW from VM Innovations. Had a difficult weekend at Kyalami, and I think we'll just be satisfied to score points this weekend based on what happened up there near Johannesburg last time out. Michael Stephen traditionally has been very good over a long race run. His car's very good over a distance. Let's see if he can close the margin to his young teammate as this race goes on. GTC 2, 3 leading cars, 3 leading teams, 2 Volkswagens and 1 Signature Mini, and another not too far behind. This is Trevor Bland, and if you cast your mind back to our first of 2 visits to this venue 12 months ago, he was Mr. Excitement. He made some unbelievably good moves in his Volkswagen Golf. Really put the privateer runner on the GTC landscape and has become a regular contender since then. So watch for Bland in this race. He's running 3rd at the moment. Devon Robertson just in front. So this is just a pressure cooker motor race at the moment. Right now, it's a question of who makes the first mistake, who overdrives the car or who hits a curb just a little bit too much to make a move and unsettle the car in front. Because these guys are all driving at 11 tenths. They're on the ragged edge, but they're all lapping at about the same speed, so it makes overtaking opportunities come at a premium. Daniel Rowe might be one to make one of those moves. You'll notice that this car runs a different number this time. After a shocking weekend at Kylarmi, he's gone back to his old karting number that he ran when he was a junior back in the day. A university student hoping that brings him perhaps a change of luck this time out in round 2 of the championship, and those remarkable and emotional scenes from the young man from Port Elizabeth, the factory Volkswagen at Kylarmi, wondering just what happened, what went wrong for him there. A turn of luck perhaps this time. Wow, off the road goes the Volkswagen at high speed. The CompCare car has a big moment coming out of Malmesbury. Dane Angel had the viewpoint of that from the Honda. It's a quick bit of road. There's a bump right on the apex. You get the car turned in. The car just wants to skate across. And those GTC 2 cars have got so much grip, they're hiking the inside rear wheel, so they're tripoding it around that corner. The new slick tyre on those cars this year, gripping them up. They're lapping much, much quicker. Lapping much quicker at the moment, or slightly quicker at least, is Michael Van Rooyen. He's locked on to the back of our runner-up from last season, Gennaro Bonafide. He was a winner here in round 2 last year. As part of that remarkable start to his 2017 season. He won the opening race of this year as well at Kylarmi. The Sasol BMW team in good form. He's got Van Rooyen right behind. This is the view from Stephen. 245 k's an hour. And one of the biggest stops on the GTC calendar down into Cape Town corner at about 75 or 80 k's an hour at the apex there. They're on the power very early. Sets up this run down the start-finish straight. That last kink is absolutely flat out. Bonafide defending, he's under pressure. Van Rooyen will appear along his right-hand side and will try and go the very long way around at turn 1. It's a big move if he can make it stick there. He's holding on. Gennaro giving him good racing room. Look in the mirror, look over Bonafide's shoulder. You'll see the Rustenburg rocket still there, and he gets it done down the inside. And Daniel Rowe's going to do the same. Gennaro loses 2 spots in 1, and now Daniel Rowe, ever the opportunist, looks up the outside of Van Rooyen. It turns into the inside to this turn, and he's got it. Great pass, great racing. Really good little exchange there. The thing I liked about that was they each gave each other racing room. It was only inches, but they let the move happen. They didn't shut the door. It just promotes fantastic motor racing. Bonafide, though, wondering what that was all about. Hand in the air. Well, I've just lost 2 spots. And now his team boss, Vic Maharaj, will no doubt be on the radio going, eyes forward, Gennaro. You can get some spots, and they might come quickly, because Daniel locked a brake going into Cape Town corner. He bounces the car off the exit curb, and all of that hard work comes undone. This is the view from the Volkswagen. So just a little bit too deep there. That was throttle-induced oversteer by means he got on the power a little bit too early. It spun the rear tyres up and the car slid around. Great little bit of racing though, and through it all, Michael Van Rooyen finds himself on the podium. So the Rustenburg Rocket living up to his nickname in this one. And now Johan Ferree trying to find a way past the Volkswagen. Lots of wheel work on board Robbie Walk's car, sliding around on the exit. Turns 2, 3. He's got BMW in front. He's got a Volkswagen behind in Matty Hodges. There's another driver, though that list, it must be said, is long, looking for just a solid weekend, a decent points haul from this weekend at Killarney Raceway. How about Van Rooyen? That move around the outside of turn 1. Move of the year so far for me. I know we're only 2 rounds in, but what a great bit of committed driving to dive around the outside of that very long, fast left-hand corner and make that move stick. It gave him the inside line into this turn just a couple of 100 metres later. This is the battle back in GTC 2. Keegan Masters continues to lead. He's got a handy little buffer now over the Signature Motorsport Mini. Car number 20 you can see just in front. This is the view from Trevor Bland. grabs that aggressive exit curb, sliding the car around Devon Robinson. He's really come to terms with it. They had some dramas with that car and the engine mapping between rounds. They've gone away and worked out what those dramas were. Both signature minis, interestingly, just complaining about a lack of straight line speed this weekend, which down that long back straight is very, very important. So that's something they're going to need to work on. That was Robert Walk having a moment. Let's relive that from on board the 41. I tell you what, full credit to Robbie. Didn't much lift off the throttle there, did he? He was determined to keep the boot into it. We're on the final lap. It's the battle for the lead. The two Audis going at it. They've managed to pull away now from the fight for third and fourth and fifth with Van Rooyen. Now back under pressure from Gennaro Bonafide. But what about this job from the two Engen Audis? Pulling away their own private fight for the race lead. And Simon Moss has driven an inch perfect motor race. From pole position, Michael Stephen admitted that Simon's lap was just that little bit better. He did the job. He's led each one of the 8 laps, and very quickly the apprentice is outdoing the master at Engen Audi. It's a second win for Simon Moss. And this guy is rushing to the front of the championship. Fight for third and fourth was pretty close there. Bonafide holding out. Daniel Rowe, who finished with a flourish in fifth. And then back to this fight in GTC2. So Keegan Masters, another start to finish drive. It's going to send him right to the back of the field for the inverted grid later on today. That's going to be spectacular to watch for the Volkswagen driver. But he's shown every indication of why this guy is a champion. And he can win from the back, but doing it from the front just as satisfying. Every lap led. The Volkswagen's going to come across the line and take out the third race of the season in GTC2. The fight behind will be pretty close as well. But a really good result for Devon Robertson, who's just held out Trevor Bland. That was close. Good little finish between the two of them. But what about Simon Moss? Fist pumping this big crowd here at Killarney Raceway. He's a winner for the second time this year. Michael Stevens second, Van Rooyen third. Bonafide and Rowe were next. Johan Ferré got home in sixth. In GTC2, it was Masters, Robertson and Bland on the podium. Liebenberg and Wood were next. Let's go down and hear from the winners. Here's Simon Moss chatting to Philippa.
Congratulations, Simon Moss. Second win of the season and first 1-2 for Engen Audi. Great result.
Yes, no, definitely. Started on pole position, had a great race, had Mark hunting me down, which is not the thing you ever want. Managed to hold it together, and this is definitely the sweeter victory of my two this season. So far, hopefully there's many more. And great for the team. They put in a huge amount of effort for this race meeting, working all night to get Mark's car ready, which meant limited testing. But we're flying, and hopefully for the second race we can come from the back and get another one too.
Michael Stevens, second place for your first race this weekend. You were putting the pressure on your teammate though.
Yeah, fantastic result for the team. You know, Simon winning and me second, can't really get better than that. I mean, the last week they've put in so many hours to get, especially my car ready. After the Killarney shunt, you know, they worked through the night, Wednesday night. The car's here, it's back on track, and you know they've done a decent job. The car's fast, and you know I think this 1-2 is credit to them. So looking forward to race 2 now.
Massive effort, Michael Van Rooyen. Congratulations on third place.
Thanks, it was a very entertaining race. I had managed a good start, at least for a change. Yes, managed to get past Gennaro eventually just before the end. But the Audis were a bit fast for us, I think, in race 1. Everyone did a great job preparing the car, and they changed after Kylarmy's couple of incidents. They changed the tie rod ends on my car coming into Killarney. We knew it's a bumpy circuit and so on, and using a couple of the curbs as well, so it affects that, and it's managing to hold on. So just hold thumbs for one more race.
One more race indeed, Michael Van Rooyen. That's coming up very soon. That man, Keegan Masters, will go from the back of the grid in race 2 from Killarney. That's coming up next.
I come from a rugby family. My dad was pretty much a rugby person. He loved motorsport, but he was always sponsoring people. And I just always had a passion and nick for it since my first memory watching Formula One, sitting in front of the TV. And the one day we came to the track and it was go-kart testing. I said to my dad, I would love to do that. And my dad got me a kart, and the first time we came and raced, I managed to win the handicap race. So my first time I got a trophy, was chuffed, and since then it just kept on rolling on. I won a championship in every Formula I entered. So I mean, I'm not just races, but I ended up winning a championship. So I think I just got a natural knack for it. I don't know where it comes from, but yeah, I just love it, and I love the speed, and I love the passion, and I love the adrenaline. And yeah, it's just like my drug. I need it. I can't be without it. I think all the races at Killarney is quite special for me because the atmosphere, the people's vibe for racing, they've got a passion for racing, and I think it's more supported here than any place else in the country, and the people just passionate about their racing. So all the races are special here, but I had a few races from production car that I won the first championship here, and my first win with Indy Oil as well on the board. They came for one race, and then we ended up winning the day, and they were so chuffed, so they carried on for a couple of years sponsoring me. So that was a good one, and then we ended up winning the championship in 2008 as well. I don't know, I don't really care about stats. To me, it's just I want to give my best performance every time I get in the car. I don't have off days or bad days. Sometimes something let go or something happens in the car, but pretty much when I rock up in the track, I give it my all, and I always try to win. I mean, I'm coming here to win races, not to just be a number on the grid. So for me, that's a natural instinct, and I think you just always want to fight. And sometimes you have the best races when you had Wade Ballister in the cars and production cars early days. We had the best races with Michael Stevens. We got 100 Ks each, and we're fighting for last position. But just to beat each other was like a winning a race. So I mean, it's always a hard fight, and I think always when I'm involved in the dice, there's always some action. So because I'll never let go and I'll never give up, or I'll never say surrender. I think over the years I gave Killarney a lot of wins in all my different series, SAS cars, West Banks, Formula Fords, and of course production cars. But now in the GTC, I haven't performed really well. I think I got 2 thirds here last year, the opening round, which was a bit lucky as well. We had a little bit of pace, but I do owe my own fans a good performance, and I would really like to give them a win today. I'm going to go all out, not holding back.
He was 4th in the championship last year, Johan Faria, a race win, 8 top 3 finishes to his credit in the 2017 season. The start of this year hasn't gone to plan, but you can bet that the multiple South African champion, the great man, will be back at some point this year. Is this race to do it? Who knows? We do it from a reverse grid approach, as always, in race 2, the Sasol GTC Championship. The 4th of a season that's turning out to be pretty captivating. The big question is, can anyone beat the N-Gen Audis? And while they go from the back of the Sasol GTC pack, that doesn't matter because they've got a habit of carving their way through. Here's how they line up. Hodges in front of Walk 1 and 2. Farigos from 3rd. The local fans will like that. With Daniel Rowe from 4th. Bonafide and Van Rooyen 5th and 6th. Stephen and Moss 7th and 8th. But as I said, they're very good at charging their way through the field. Pretorius and Angel 1 and 2 in GTC 2 with Smallberger and Wood next. Then it's Liebenberg and Bland. Devon Robertson 17th. And second last of GTC2 with Keegan Masters rounding out that field. He is right at the very back, the race 1 winner. Longer distance, reverse grid racing, Sasol GTC style. The 4th race of the year, the 2nd of the weekend here at Killarney. We're underway and racing again. Good start so far. Turn 1, Volkswagen and BMW wheel to wheel, side by side. All good. It's busy in GTC2 though. The Honda's going to get through in front. Good start, Dane Angel. Nicely done. It's busy. They're sorting for positions and bouncing off the road. I think that might have been the Kia Serra car. Adrian Wood perhaps out very, very wide. It was. And if Robert Walt didn't lift off in race 1, there's no way that the rookie did that time. Absolutely kept it flat to the boards. Great bit of car control. He's lost a lot of positions, but the first-year driver continues on and is pointing in the right direction. So now we settle down, a frenetic start, and it's Volkswagen leading the way, something we haven't said enough in Sasol GTC over the last season and a bit. And Honda on top in GTC2 with Dane Angel. Same kind of story. Johan Pretorius, so he was the one out wide as well. And And it's a Mini that's got himself up into second place behind Dane Angel. Check out this battle pack, sending it around the outside. The race one winner, long way round, grabs his teammate first, and he's going to get Van Rooyen as well. Brilliant move. He's driving with so much confidence, Simon Moss. Good power down. And he'll get that drag race on the run into turn one. Here's Robert Walt. The BMW looks to the inside of Matty Hodges. Turn one. We talked about it as a passing opportunity in race one. There's your proof. The BMW now goes to the lead. And what about this fight? Van Rooyen hung out to dry, gets gobbled up by a pair of NGen Audis. They go past in sequence. Gee, this is a frenetic start. And it's the march of the Audis starting to work their way forward. It was such a hallmark of Michael Stevens' championship last year, where he got one after another. Now Daniel Rowe driving filled with confidence. Looks up the inside of his teammate at the right-hander but couldn't do it. Bit of friendly fire perhaps for the two V-dubs. Wheel to wheel. And Rowe with a good run out of Malmesbury. Oh, he's done the full Cole Trickle. I've got my eyes on you, Matt Hodges. Days of Thunder style. He's in the toe, looks down the inside, into turn 6. Can he get it done on his teammate? Bonafide watching on from behind. Walk from in front's got the good view, and he gets the pass done. He telegraphed that coming out of Malmesbury corner. He knew he had such a good run. And Daniel Rowe goes through, and now Bonafide on Hodges, who was leading 2 laps ago. This is awesome racing. Johan Ferree looking to make it 3 wide, down the inside at 1. Hodges has been gobbled up. Happens when you lose momentum. You lose a bunch of spots so very quickly. Hung out to dry, nowhere to go, lost a couple of spots. Still wheel to wheel. Stephen now back down the inside of his teammate. So they swap spots again, and Van Rooyen trying to mix himself up in this. He's another driver filled with confidence and bravado after a podium finish in race 1. Really good drive. They've got the Rustenburg rocket humming this season. So Johan Ferree's in 5th place. What can the local driver do? This is that ever critical Malmesbury corner. Double right, big slide, big moment, and big dramas. That's not a healthy sounding BMW. There's driveline issues in this car. And I know that sounds like stating the obvious. And he's so frustrated. What has Johan Ferree got to do to get a good result? Another massive job from one of our great teams to rebuild this car. He was the other half of that incident with Michael Stephen. Barreled down into turn 2, Killarney, no brakes, crunch. And now this is Keegan Masters. We wanted to show you the start of the race because he's made some amazing moves. Well, we were watching that Sasol GTC battle unfold. He's been picking them off one by one. That was Johan Pretorius he goes past. Trevor Bland was next. So this is the start-finish straight. That wild outside move on the run into turn 1. Charles Smallberger now through Malmesbury. Great corner exit. One by one, the champion has picked his way forward in the GTC2 fight, and all of a sudden, the blue and white Volkswagen is up to 3rd. This is awesome driving. This young guy, not even in his 20s, he's done some international racing as well. He's a superstar of the future of South African motorsport, amongst a couple of really bright, young, talented drivers that are in the field. And he's got a great drive on Brad Liebenberg now. The factory cars from Mini and Volkswagen go wheel to wheel, kicking up the dust on the run into Cape Town corner. And if he can hold it round the outside, he'll get this pass done. Smart driving from Liebenberg gave him racing room. They stay wheel to wheel, but the V-dub's just too good. Corner exit was amazing, power down good, great driving, great awareness from both of them. And Keegan Masters is second, and he's done it in 4 laps. He's taken a page from the Michael Stephen playbook of reverse grid racing and has made it look all too easy. What isn't all too easy is this fight for the lead, and Robert walks under serious pressure, although he's going to lose a spot. Rowe dives down the inside, terrific move. brilliantly judged, was given racing room. The Volkswagen goes to the front. And now it's Gennaro Bonafide's turn to try and put one on his teammate. This is great racing. Let's have another look at that. Let's just soak that in, because this is a brilliantly judged bit of driving from both guys, to be fair, because Rowe committed. He got up on the curb on the inside. Lots of dirt on the inside there where the rallycross circuit joins back onto the permanent track. Had a big oversteer moment, the rear end sliding round, but he kept the boot in. And full credit to Robert Walk, because he saw him coming and opened the door enough to give him racing room. Great respect shown by two young guys charging to the front in Sasol GTC. From one V-dub to another, this is Matt Hodges getting gobbled up by a double attack of Engine Audis. They march their way forward. This is great racing. Oh, and Hodges just signalling perhaps to his crew, going, I've got nothing for these guys. And while his teammates out in front, he's plummeted to the back of the field. Van Rooyen went past as well. So Michael Stephen, he's now in fourth place, the defending champion. Enormous effort by the Engine Audi crew to rebuild this car. They finished it late Wednesday night, put it on the truck, drove cross country down to Cape Town. They put the setup in the car for this weekend. When they arrived at the circuit, they were still working late on Thursday night. Its first run after a front rebuild, complete front rebuild, was in practice one. It's an enormous testament to the talent of the crews that prepare these cars. And what about talent? Keegan Masters looking around the outside of Dane Angel in the mighty Honda Civic Type R. And he's gone a little bit wide here, and it's opened the door. And through goes Keegan. He's going to grab the race lead. Fantastic stuff. Got to say, Dane Angel's been really impressive. He contested 3 rounds of the championship last year. Had a couple of solid results, but very early in the development cycle for the Honda. The Civic has been strong this weekend though. Qualified on the front row, got relegated back with a penalty, but he's raced at the front of the field in this one. That's the view from above. As Bonafide goes hard defensive on the run into turn 1. That's not going to stop Michael Stephen though. The two that waged war for the championship last year go at it again. It's just become such a good rivalry in South African motorsport. Anytime these two get together on the racetrack, you just have to watch. You put down whatever you're doing and affix your eyes to these two. And Bonafide sliding the BMW around, and through it all, Simon Moss goes through. So Moss has got 2. He's got past his teammate once again, and now Michael Stephen finally completes a move that's taken half a lap to do. So Bonafide's dropped some spots there. The race winner, early championship leader, Simon Moss, assumed a clear lead in the championship thanks to his victory in race 1. And Bonafide is getting gobbled up at the moment. He's plummeting back, much like Matt Hodges did earlier in the race. And Michael Van Rooyen next, the one to go through. That big stop from 245 kilometres an hour into Cape Town corner. So well past half race distance, we can reset now, and we find Daniel Rowe out in front. He's got a handy margin. Robbie Walk is next, but those 2 Audis continue to charge their way forward. This is a solid performance from Robert Walk. He was 7th in the championship last year. He got a win down at Port Elizabeth, home track for the VM Innovations team at the Aldo Scribanti circuit there. One pole position to his credit as well, off the road, big off. That's enormous. It's a Volkswagen, it's a GTC 2 car, and I think it's Charles Smallberger at high speed, confirmed it is. The young man, a privateer runner who was so very impressive, especially in the second half of the season last year, has had a very big impact into the tyre bundle at Cape Town corner. Marshall's quickly on the scene. Great to see. Make sure the drivers are okay. These cars incredibly safe. So let's go back and find out what happened. Angel was too deep, so he just had a big moment all on his own and ran off. And behind him, the crash had already occurred. So barreling into the corner, Charles Smallberger said after race 1 that had a pretty lonely run to 6th place, but was having to drive the car very hard to keep up with the cars in front. This was Dane Angel's view. And that's Smallberger in the background going off. So just couldn't get the car arrested in the braking zone. And while the Sasol GTC cars are doing 245 k's there, the GTC 2 car's doing well over 215. It's still a very, very fast approach. And we're glad that Charles Smallberger is out at the scene. Now what that does, and race control has elected to keep this race under green, but there'll be yellow flags waving at Cape Town Corner. It's the best overtaking opportunity on the entire racetrack. And it might just make our race leaders' job in both classes a little bit easier, because they will be protected now from attack from behind. And the same can be said for this great battle for second place, with Brad Liebenberg under all sorts of pressure from Trevor Bland. Oh wow, the leader off, Masters off, but he holds onto it somehow. Wild moment. All four wheels off the road. We've seen it a few times this weekend. And all the drivers to a T after first practice came back in and said, this place is more bumpy than it ever has been. Killarney hosted a round of the World Rallycross Championship, and that's where the circuit sort of joined in. You can see the dirt track in the infield there. And those ferociously powerful World Rallycross cars, I think, have just added some new bumps to Killarney Raceway. Adds to the character of this great little racetrack. And it means the drivers are more committed than ever through there. So, Bradley Liebenberg under pressure in GTC 2. The same can be said for Robbie Walk. He's got Simon Moss locked behind him now. Daniel Rowe continues to power away out in front of this field. That new number on his car this weekend. Could it be? Does he dare to dream that it could be a race victory coming his way? Well, he's got decent margin. That's not a problem. And this might help him, because these three are having an enormous fight for second, third, fourth, and if you include Michael Van Rooyen in that, it's fifth place as well. Here's Stephen. We just savour the ride down into turn 6. The smoking Volkswagen parked in the background, but the driver is out and A-OK. So racing is able to continue, which is great to see. Oh, there's some stressed faces on that pit wall. Volkswagen Motorsport watching on. Big reshuffle behind the scenes in their technical department over the off-season. Nathan's Motorsport taking over. Former GTC racer Graham Nathan now heading up the preparation of those cars. They've brought some new engine gurus in as well. They've given the team a big tune-up. The performance is paying off. Now Stephen goes up the inside of his teammate. Takes the position away. That's third. Robert Walk was having dramas of his own out in front, just locked a brake going into the right-hander. All the intensity in this championship, it's so very high. It's world class, and Walk now has had that lock-up. It creates a flat spot on the tyre, so every time you go to the brake pedal, it finds that flat spot and just starts locking up again. So the BMW driver is in trouble here and under serious pressure. We're on board with the 41 car. Long run down the back straight. What a view. You wouldn't look at your rear view mirror, would you? With these two cars locked up behind you. With a multiple champion Michael Stephen, a double champion in this category. He's won titles in front, all and rear wheel drive cars. And that team just looking for a race win. One lap remaining for Daniel Rowe. He's got a great racing heritage in South African motorsport. His granddad raced at the highest levels of the sport here. His dad raced at the highest levels of the sport. And Michael still heads up the Volkswagen Motorsport operation. Robert Walk, big brake lock up. We talked about it. He just got it stopped and turned in. And he holds on to second place. He's got half a lap to do it. The leader continues to hold on, Daniel Rowe. Now up the inside, Malmesbury, can he do it here? It's a big move, but Michael Stephen goes through. Moss couldn't do it. He's just struggling to hang on to his car in the first place. So Michael Stephen with a great move at Malmesbury goes to second place on the final lap of the race. It's been a thriller. Killarney Raceway has delivered again. Final corner. It's all teeing off in front, but the leader is a 24-year-old. He's from Port Elizabeth. and he's going to win his first GTC race. From heartbreak to hero, Daniel Rowe is a winner in Sasol GTC. And the emotions will be strong in the Volkswagen camp tonight. Great battle for second. Stephen gets home. The king of reverse grid races does it all over again and just scraps his way to second place. Robbie Walk on the podium there in third. That's a side note to what's going on in front though. And Keegan Masters will long remember the series of moves he made in the opening stages of this race. It was almost surgical precision. One car after another, he marched his way forward. And this is going to make an already very good day for the Volkswagen team even better, because he won race one. And now the junior in the camp is going to get a second race win. A clean sweep at Killarney. For Keegan Masters, the champion, does it again. Volkswagen has had a very, very good day. How about this drag race? Lieberberg is going to get mugged on the line here. He does. Trevor Bland from absolutely nowhere goes past. Great finish. That's second and third. Fantastic racing. What a day. What a performance. And what a victory for Daniel Rowe, the winner for the first time in Sasol GTC competition. After heartbreak, he was so emotional. The first round of the championship. This is just the ultimate response. And it turned out that switch to his old karting number was exactly what the doctor ordered. And a double victory there for the champion. Keegan Masters asserts himself at the top of the standings in GTC 2. What an unbelievable motor race, and this will be great. Matt Hodges straight out of his car and straight to his teammate. Congratulates the first-time winner. In emotional scenes at Volkswagen Motorsport after an incredible race. That'll be hard to top for Race of the Year, and there's his dad, Mike Rowe. Put so much into this program. The party will be big at Volkswagen, I can guarantee you that. So Daniel Rowe and Michael Stephen 1 and 2. Robert Wog was third in the end. A great result for the BMW driver. Van Rooyen, Moss, Bonafide and Hodges completed the Sasol GTC order. Well, I'm looking forward to this. Let's go and hear from our race winner. He's talking to Philippa.
Daniel Rowe, we can finally congratulate you as a Sasol GTC race winner. You have worked so hard for this.
Yeah, it's been coming. We've had times when we've had good pace, but it's never paid off until today. So, yeah, I just started the day a bit emotional, but yeah, it gives the team, it gives me the belief. But yeah, I've got to thank Graham and the team. It's been phenomenal.
You had a very rough weekend at Kylarmi. How did you pull yourself out of that to be able to clean the slate and focus on this weekend ahead?
Yeah, we struggled there. We struggled the whole of last year. And then to start the year in Kylarmi as bad as we did, it was demotivating as well. So, it was difficult in the period before this to try and get over it. But, we started the weekend with a clear mind. All of us just decided to keep the cars in one piece, stay out of the rough, and it paid off. And we've got to thank Volkswagen, Graham, Mike, Cam, Wes, Dean, Chris, all the guys that put in the hard work with the team. We've proven we've had the pace, and finally it's paid off. I think there's many more to come.
Everyone deserves to win, no more than you, Daniel. Congratulations.
Thank you.
In GTC 2, it was a terrific result and a great race too. Keegan Masters on top with Trevor Bland next. Dane Angel, a well-deserved podium finish. Johan Pretorius next, then Adrian Wood. But what a way to bounce back from a tough opening round. The champion is a winner at Killarney.
Keegan, lots of celebrations at Volkswagen this weekend, but let's start with you. Double victory this weekend. You've absolutely dominated.
No, I'm super chuffed. The team has worked extremely hard on the car, and it's finally paid off. Made it through race 1 and 2 nicely. No faults, no problems. So extremely happy to finish day like this and double win. It was very tough, especially to get through the field. But yeah, we did it, and the team is extremely happy. So yeah.
A very emotional win for Daniel. What does it mean for the team to have someone like him finally get his first race win?
I think VW Motorsport are going to have a big party tonight. So hopefully we all survive tonight for the next race weekend.
Well, for the first time in Sasol GTC history, someone not named Gennaro Bonafide or Michael Stephen leads the championship. Simon Moss is on top. He leads Bonafide and Stephen. Second and third, Van Rooyen, an excellent fourth. In GTC 2, it's Mr. Excitement, Trevor Bland, who leads the way. He's on top, the champion Keegan Masters, Liebenberg third, Devon Robertson fourth, Charles Smallberger rounding out the top 5. This is a great podium. For the first time in his career, Daniel Rowe gets the big trophy. And as Keegan Masters said, the celebrations will be long and large at Volkswagen Motorsport tonight. It's been an incredible weekend here at Killarney Raceway, but this is only the beginning. Round 3 of the championship takes us to Zwartkops in just a couple of weeks' time. And this season is only just getting started. Until then, it's goodbye from Cape Town.